arrived under the floodlights of the Marina Bay Street Circuit located next to the country's harbour for the running of the Singapore Grand Prix, the second night race of the season. Coming into this week, one team has made the first driver change of this year's silly season. The team we are referring to is Toro Rosso, as they have announced that 2014 DTM champion and current championship leader in that series, Michael Moccio, will join the team to make his long-awaited full-time return in 2016. Michael has had quite the journey to get back into the top class since being left without a drive at the end of 2011. For the last 4 seasons he has competed in DTM with Team Mercedes-Benz, where he's had some very impressive seasons, with the most notable being 2014, where he won the title despite not competing in the title decider at Monza. During this time he has also been the test driver for Force India, where at times he was asked to substitute for certain drivers. He raced at the 2012 German Grand Prix after Kirishima De Rosa got injured at Silverstone, and more recently in 2014 he competed in the last 7 races due to Rifki Fakhrizin retiring from the series early. He was set to get a seat for McLaren in 2015 until he made a seriella at the pit lane entrance at Abu Dhabi. However, after spending another year in DTM where he is looking to become the second double champion in that series, he will return to the top class in 2016 and he'll be looking to make amends and take advantage of his second chance. The news means that at least one current Toro Rosso driver will be leaving the team at the end of the season, with Robert Hunter currently in contention for a Red Bull seat and Franco Gamba currently underperforming at this stage despite having a great showing at Belgium. However, there is a chance that both Hunter and Gamba could leave the team at the end of the season, as George Roque's name has been mentioned for a possible drive at Toro Rosso if he is not retained by Lotus when they become Renault. If Renault do not retain him, George could throw another spanner in the works in the battle to become Moccio's teammate in 2016. In other news, as promised last week, we can confirm the version of Singapore that we will be using. After much deliberation and much testing, the top class fraternity will be using the 2013 version of Singapore, meaning for the first time in top class history, the drivers will not be using the Singapore sling. Instead, they'll be using a re-profile version of the corner, and host JWF1 was satisfied that this version of Singapore worked. However, JWF1 has said that if the track, despite all of the tests, becomes too chaotic on Wednesday, then he will consider bringing back the sling version of the track, but we will have to wait and see. It will be interesting to see how the drivers cope with the re-profile corner, and we can't wait for the race to happen tomorrow. And finally, in other news, for the first time since 2011, GP4 will be returning to the Istanbul Park circuit in Turkey after it was announced after Monza that the track had been voted as one of the standalone races for 2015. Istanbul is a popular track to many fans across the world, and the fact that GP2 will be returning there this year makes it all the more exciting. The other 2 standalone races, which take place after Sochi, are still yet to be announced, with 3 tracks rumoured to be potential favourites to compete for those 2 slots. They are the Baku City Circuit in Azerbaijan, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Grand Prix track in the United States, and the Circuito DRF circuit in Spain. It will be very interesting to see which 2 tracks will be the other 2 standalone races, so keep an eye out in the coming weeks. And that is it for this week's edition of the GP4OC News. The next team news will break at the Japanese Grand Prix next week, who will be announced due into practice at Suzuka.